हाँ, कब मिलता है? कब मिलता है? एक्स्ट्रा कब मिलता है? यही है। आ रहा है, कल देखिए। चलिए सब लोग तैयार हो जाइए। अब लोग सब लोग तैयार हो जाइए, कलम कापी निकाल लीजिए। युद्ध क्षेत्र में तैयार होइए। अब अपना अपना पढ़ना स्टार्ट करें। अपना अपना पढ़ना स्टार्ट करें। कौन कौन जुड़े हैं? हाँ, बताइए जल्दी से। हाँ आकाश, क्या हो रहा है आकाश? तैयार थे क्या जी? चलो तैयार हो जाओ, एकदम बढ़िया से तैयार हो जाओ। तैयार हो जाओ। अपना किताब कापी निकाल लीजिए भाई लोग। आप लोग सब लोग निकालिए, पढ़ना स्टार्ट कर दीजिए। आकाश बस, हाँ कुछ नहीं हुआ है। क्या हुआ हो? क्या हुआ है सर? अच्छा आकाश, क्या हुआ है? अपना अपना काम निकालिए। एक दिन जुड़ा जाए, बस अंताक्षरी खेला जाएगा। मैं भी अपनी किताब निकाल लिया। वो कल से बस 1 किलो को जुड़ा है अभी। किताब देखते रहिए, बस केवल आकाश ही है क्या जीवन में? एडजेक्टिव एंड डिग्री ऑफ कंपैरिजन, टेंस फॉर्म्स। Reported space, one word of substitution. Agenda, a list of reading of this business to be the transacted at this meeting. ये सब देखा जाएगा। स्ट्रक्चर स्पेलिंग्स, रीअरेंजिंग जम्बल वर्ड्स, ये सब। जल्दी से बताइए सब लोग। क्लोज टेस्ट, इंग्लिश ग्रामर में सर है। कंप्रहेंशन अनसीन पैसेज, देखे क्या क्या पढ़ा जाए इसमें आपको। तो निकाले हिंदी, वर्ड विचार वर्तनी विवेक, वर्णमाला। मुझे छोड़कर परदेसी परदेसी जाना नहीं, मुझे छोड़कर परदेसी परदेसी जाना नहीं, जाना नहीं, मुझे छोड़कर परदेसी मेरे। जल्दी तैयार हो जाए जल्दी से। बताइए कोई क्वेश्चंस। मैं अपना पढ़ते जा रहा हूँ, देखिए मैं देख रहा हूँ क्या पढ़ना है क्या नहीं पढ़ना है। कोई क्वेश्चन पूछ ही नहीं रहा है। कहाँ गए सब, गायब हो गए क्या जी? आ सब चले गए। अभी एक ही लोग जुड़े हैं, अभी कौन जुड़ा है? 9:05 हो गया। क्लास 9 का वहाँ और लोग किया बोलेंगे। सब गुस्सा है क्या जी? And the food preservation mechanisms can be seen in this thread. अपना अपना किताब निकालिए, पढ़ना स्टार्ट करिए, जो नहीं समझ में आएगा पूछते रहिएगा। Cellular composition different organisms. This is where biodiversity refers to the variety of organisms exist on the earth. Their interrelationships and relationship with the environment. India is a 6 on the list of 12. Mega biodiversity and continues. And world, it is the content two of the 34 biodiversity hotspots. Reproduction in plants and animals. इसके बाद मैथ्स आ जाता है। सब पढ़ दिया केमिकल इफेक्ट्स ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिक करंट्स। जुड़ गए दो लोग, बताइए क्या किया जाए, क्या पढ़ा जाए? कोई क्वेश्चन है, पूछा जाए आपस में, देखा जाए, चैटिंग उधर किया जाए, करिए थोड़ा। लाइट्स है प्रिज्म के बारे में। वाइट रेस इट इज पासिंग थ्रू द प्रिज्म एंड वीक ग्लोर बनाता है। वायलेट, इंडिगो, ब्लू, ग्रीन, येलो तो है ही है। The human eye is one of the most valuable and sensitive pieces of human body. And color, it is consists of lens, which is made of the living tissues. Lens is a piece of transparent glass bounded by the two spherical Lens are the transparent so that light can pass through them. And pass through the lenses are mainly in the two types, convex lens and concave lens. And convex lens is lens which is a thicker in the middle that it is as a beam of parallel rays light falls on the convex lens from the left side. Image from the convex lens, the nature of size of image from the convex lens depend on distance on the object from the convex lens. आप लोग पढ़िए सब लोग मिल करके. ये कॉन्केव लेंस डाइवर्जिंग लेंस कहा जाता है, उसे कन्वेक्स लेंस को कन्वर्जिंग लेंस कहा जाता है. Concave lens, a diverging lens, convex lens is a lens which is a thinner in the middle that is S. As the parallel beam of the light passes on the concave lens, after passing through the concave lens, the light is diverging split out. Image from the concave lens, this image from the concave lens is always virtual, erect and diminished on highly diminished. Yeah. And eye structure eye and crystalline lens, aqueous humor, pubis and cornea and the ciliary nucleus and the retina, blind spot, optic nerves, vitreous tumors. And that is the iris is the a screen and behind the cornea. It is small aperture of the centers. Generally, iris black of glass and partially covers that front quarters lens. Lens is made of that. And made of transparent flexible material like that is made of proteins fixed by the ciliary glands muscles. Ciliary muscles, the eye lens is held at position of the ciliary muscles, and focal length is changed by the action of the ciliary muscle retina. And that is which is known as form. The eye is a well retina, which is situated behind the lens, back upstairs, and the protest behind that. 2 मिनट रुकिए आ रहा है. दो मिनट रुकिए आ रहा है. अपने किताब लेकर आए पढ़ा. तो ये पढ़ा जाए यार, कोई क्वेश्चन लग रहा नहीं पूछा जाए अपना पढ़ो. देखिए इसमें हम लोग योजना जो मैगजीन है डेवलपमेंट मंथली सिंस 1956 अक्टूबर महीने का है. अक्टूबर 21 एजुकेशन फॉर न्यू इंडिया. From root to the relevance India's ecological revolution, and from the oral transition of the Vedas to the scholarly pursuit, and Nalanda and Taxilas. Education in India has always been the more than the instruction. It has been the path of self-realization, social harmony, and intellectual inquiry. The future of the any nations is built in it is the classrooms, schools and universities. Today, education is about more than just literacy rates and enrollment numbers. And NEP, National Education Policy, to also serve as the founders of blueprints for this transformation. And it is a 5 years of implementation. NEP has addressed every layers of the system from the foundation literacy in early childhood to global research and collaboration in higher education. The articles in this issue delve deep into the various dimensions of this new educational paradigm. We begin the multidisciplinary approach that laid out the NEP crucial shift away from the rigid silos and it is preparing student for the complexities of the सब लोग अपना पढ़ाई करें हम भी पढ़ रहे हैं एंड दिस इज द कंप्लीट 1 घंटा पढ़ना है मेरे साथ रह करके एंड दैट कनेक्टिविटी एंड प्रिपेयर द स्टूडेंट फॉर दैट आप लोग एग्जाम की तैयारी करिए हम भी एग्जाम करें जो क्वेश्चन नहीं आता आप बीच में पूछ सकते हैं and ecosystem education wherein the government and economic bodies and activities fostering and cultural curiosity and invention. The goal is to move the beyond that learning and that cultivate a new generation of problem solvers and that contribute to India technological and economic assets. That mark of the new India is a commitment, inclusive education, guaranteeing that every child, potential regardless of their background or ability, realize that they have the access to quality education within the mainstream classrooms. And involve the creating the flexible learning environments and utilizing specialized tools like the screens and screen readers and braille materials and support visually and impaired students for those who are the new neurodevelopment disorder, developmental disorders like ADHD, autism. Inclusive education provides a structure and support is and the setting just minimize distraction of other personalized attention. Furthermore, and explore the revival of the Indian knowledge system with its educational framework. This is not a retreat in the past, but is forward-looking effort to integrate a rich integrate however ancient scientific treatises and the philosophical traditions. You study further पढ़ सकते हो अपना पढ़ते रहिए साथ में that is the learning. It is about installing a sense of pride of identity and fostering and global outlooks. Next, the journey ahead is long. That vision is clear. Education is the key of unlocking nation true the potential as we approach the festive seasons. Uh, that related carry out the spirit of renewable enlightenment. Forward, we hope that is you saw the valuable resources call the action every stakeholder to that contribute to building the education system and truly fit for the new India. That we wish you and your families in joyous and prosperous festive seasons. May the light of the learning continue to shine brightly in our homes and our nation. सब लोग क्या करें स्टडी करते रहें जितने लोग जोड़ गए हैं अपना अपना किताब लेकर पढ़ना स्टार्ट करें कम से कम मेरे साथ 1 घंटा आपको पढ़ना है मैं भी अपना पढ़ूंगा जो क्वेश्चन नहीं आएगा आप बीच में पूछ सकते हैं मैं क्वेश्चन को नोट करूंगा उसको बताऊंगा ठीक है कोई दिक्कत नहीं आप कोई भी ना देखे कोई बात नहीं हम अपना काम करेंगे जो मेरा काम है उस करना ही है अगला जो है इम्पैक्ट जयप्रकाश पांडे रिटेन डाउन दिस द topics articles multidisciplinary approach to the careers. National Education Policy 2020 will act as an instrument of change that will lay strong foundation on which the future of the Naya Bharat. Naya Bharat will be built. It will the massive from the burden of the school bag and experimental learning with focus on making job creators and instead of job seekers in line with the aspiration of that Indian youth in 21st century. Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Tanushka is pursuing the undergraduate degree in the economics honors at a college under the Delhi University. In addition to other core subject economics, she has a student politics of the globalization as a general elective, digital empowerment as a and that course creative writing skill enhancement course Sanskrit as a her ability to enhance. Beyond that, beyond academics, she actively participate in the college dance society. To pursue passion and develop her soft skills, she has had designed diverse and enriching academic journeys. This flexible is a multidisciplinary study plan. That is a flexible and multidisciplinary study plan has been made possible by the National Education Policy in 2020, such as approach support a student in the realizing their the full human potential and fulfilling the career path in the future. The National Education Policy (NEP) 2020 is a visionary document that is focuses on the development of the cognitive learning, which shall promote the innovative and crucial thinking among the student. NEP visions an education system which is based on the inquiry, discovery, discussion, and analysis, ultimately promoting the zeal or tolerance. And among the student is right from the pre-primary to the higher education level, the policy plans to bring the structural and teaching that what is think, the how to think, and emphasizing on the flexibility, multidisciplinary, and that holistic approach to learning. Education is fundamental from the achieving a full human potential development in the equitable and just society, promoting national development and the catering for that is need 21st century that multidisciplinary approach that other additional secretary and Robi subscription is former director Ministry of Education, Government of India, email ID some things. 21 मिनट हो चुका है, अभी तक कोई क्वेश्चन कोई जुड़ा ही नहीं है, तो क्वेश्चन कहाँ से पूछेगा? कोई बात नहीं है, अपना काम करते रहिए, कोई जुड़े चाहे ना जुड़े. And education to all levels of schooling gains paramount significant the NEP 2020 and policy very well emphasizes and need to move towards the multidisciplinary approach teaching and learning in education. Holistic learners. That is multidisciplinary approach in the education carries that integration of subject and that is adoption of more holistic and well-rounded curriculum. It is an academic approach assimilates context and teaching the methods from the multiple disciplines or field of the study in multidisciplinary education program. Students are exposed to knowledge, the perspective, and methodologies from the various subject area rather than focusing on the single discipline or limited area of the study. That restricted wide understanding this include integration discipline, interconnected learning, and a collaborative knowledge. The multidisciplinary approach in the education can vary from the rigid and that approach and the traditional stream-based structure and assist that student to follow that passion and guidance to expel. For their the future goals in it promoted the culture of scaling, rescaling the upskilling among the students. That is the pivotal necessity in the new era of the knowledge economy. आपको इसमें क्या करना है, आपको फिल करना है, आपको पढ़ना है. जो क्वेश्चन नहीं आएगा आप कमेंट करेंगे, उसमें देखेंगे बच्चे जो जुड़े रहेंगे उसको आप मेंशन करेंगे. देखिए हम भी अपना पढ़ रहे हैं, आप भी पढ़िए सब लोग, क्योंकि ये क्लास के पढ़ने वाला क्लास है. आपको पढ़िए, अपना निकाल कर जो क्वेश्चन नहीं समझ आता है उसमें डालिए. बाद में इसमें क्वेश्चन को क्या हो सकता है अभी तुरंत बताएंगे या बाद बताएंगे, क्योंकि इस बेसिकली जो है अपने अपने लिए सब किया जाता है. ठीक है, तो यह दिया है दैट इज़ द एंश्योर स्वामी विवेकानंद द मैन मेकिंग education, Sri Aurobindo, integrated education, and the Mahatma Gandhi basic education, it recognizes soft skills such as the communication, adaptability, integrity, cooperation, teamwork, leadership, accountability, and compassion, empathy, resilience, and its life skill will mastery and proficiency in the field of the knowledge as the skills. The combination of the two create that a proficient balance between the knowledge and interpersonal attributes. As such, the approach and concept to facilitate students to develop the academic expertise with a vital leadership skill that can help in their career path. One of the trust the root of the such education system in ancient India. Our ancient education evolved over the period and the led emphasizing the holistic development of the individual. Gurukul education system was considered a source of the knowledge, tradition, and the practices that gain the encourage expertise and element of the community. A student in the Gurukuls were trained in the fine arts, medicine, mathematics, astronomy, and law, politics, and art of the warfare along that. With vocational and the professional skill emphasizes was laid on the values such as the humanity and truthfulness, discipline, self-reliance, and other aspects of life multidisciplinary learnings. Was not just educational philosophy, but is a substantial was understanding the world Hence, multidisciplinary education shall have the Indian educational institution to shape a critical thinker who can think out of the box to solve new as issue by utilizing the breadth and depth of the learning from the education. It focuses on the value-based education and the global citizens education. इसका full form याद रखेंगे. And the global citizenship education, global GCED are made to the student globally aware in case the employability and created an independent thinking ethical citizens. This approach led to better learning outcomes, animation and a deeper understanding of various subjects, focus on the experimental learning and integration. Arts and sports make the learning engaging, relevant, and that stimulating student actively. A project experiments such a discussion, a student develop the critical thinking skills, develop the critical thinking that is collaborates and different disciplines and foster love as a learning that is extend beyond the textbook and prepare students for success in that career in the dynamic and the interconnected career and the employability. Obtaining the stability of job and conformity to the profession has been the hallmark of traditional careers trajectory in India. The changing world, the scenario, and emerging needs of the 21st century demand for different skill set and priorities than ever before. The skills and the proficiency in jobs and changing, so the approach to jobs should also change accordingly. Career mapping, career choice, and careers counseling have been the recognized as major hardware linked to the learner such as market, job market, and practice aspects life. In the multidisciplinary approach of the education can be well linked with the career, and it can be India as the thriving, the knowledge society, and a global superpower in human capitals. One of the fundamental component of the national education policy is a focus on skill development and policy recognize that student as source. देखिए केवल हम लोग क्या करें आपस में मिलकर के पढ़ रहे हैं आप जो जितने लोग जुड़े हुए पढ़ने वाले हैं पढ़ते रहें और जो क्वेश्चन नहीं आ रहा उसको मेंशन करिए देखा जाए क्वेश्चन कौन सा नहीं आ रहा है बस यही है केवल आप लोग अब देखिए क्या है कि बस हमको पढ़ना है 9 से 10 बजे डेली क्या करिए आप जुड़िए आप पढ़ते रहिए विड्रॉ भी हो सकते हैं कोई बात नहीं है आप यहाँ से निकल भी जाएंगे कोई प्रभाव पड़ने वाला नहीं है ठीक है अपना सब लोग क्या करें काम करते रहें मैं अपना काम कर रहा हूँ सब लोग करें अपना काम देखिए क्या है ना कि इससे कोई प्रभाव नहीं पड़ने वाला है क्योंकि कोई दिक्कत नहीं है हैं मैं अपना काम कर रहा हूँ मैं सोचा हूँ कि सब लोग जुड़ करके इसमें मैं आपस में जुड़ करके मेंशन करेंगे पढ़ेंगे लिखेंगे लेकिन आप लोग निकलते जा रहे हैं कोई दिक्कत नहीं है profession in the today rapidly evolving the labor market just a professor's variety of abilities it recognizes that is the into the mainstream education thereby and providing the students opportunity and acquire skill of the various discipline and that introduction of vocational course from the class 6 can be provided student with the useful skill that are applicable in the workforce. Next. Then NAP education aims to provide a flexibility to the learner to choose their learning trajectory and path in the life according to the talents and interests, as all hand a separation between the arts and sciences, curriculars and extracurricular activities, vocational and academic streams should be put on the in the order to eliminate a harmful and hierarchies and silos between the different areas of the learning, multidisciplinary and holistic education across the sciences, so social sciences, art, humanities, and physical education. Sports for the multidisciplinary world will assist the learner to the thrive and thrive on that unity of the integrity or knowledge. Integrated curriculum, the new education national education policy aims to introduce the new age courses with a flexible combination and duration in the IIT, IIM, and NITs and universities. These courses emphasize the multidisciplinary learning, vocational skills, and a research-oriented program. Universities have also started offering on-demand courses aligned with that new education policy. As a student of literature, taking computer and artificial intelligence has been the unheard one the tourist and Indian education landscape. A course on Hindi literature combined with the computer skills and the digital literacy and helpful student in many ways, particularly in the translation related areas. That is a professional course like the chartered accountancy combined with the law, LLB, LLM, and can assist a learner to perform both tasks simultaneously. And company form would is a definitely prefer such a candidate for employment as an enhanced efficiency of that organization along with reduced expenditure on human resources. And that a court Supreme Court recently considered the PIL public interest education that is proposing a shift from the current 5 years integrated LLB to 4 years to law degree in line with the national education policy in that is coming times. देखिए इसमें आपको केवल पढ़ना है। आप एक घंटा क्या करेंगे, जुड़ेंगे एक घंटा हम भी पढ़ेंगे। जो क्वेश्चन नहीं आएगा आपको मैथ करेंगे। देखिए आप कौन सा क्वेश्चन नहीं आ रहा है, ये आपका क्लास है ठीक है। तो क्योंकि हमको भी पढ़ना है आपको भी पढ़ना है और पढ़ करके जो है जो अपना उद्देश्य है उसको पूरा किया जाए। हाँ, केवल देखिए क्या है कि हम बहुत देखे हैं कि अब बहुत लोग यूट्यूब पे आते हैं बस नाच गाना गाते हैं, उसको सब पसंद करते हैं। और दूसरी बात है वो देखें कि कोई लिखता है, नाम लिखता है, उसको भी 100 150 200 लोग देखते हैं। एक बस क्या जीवन पत्रा बताते है उसको भी देखते हैं, ठीक है। तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है इसमें। Focus on practical skill, critical thinking, and that allowing that evolving industry needs global standard integrated courses with his master in energy science and engineering with his knowledge of robotics and uh, A है is and provide a greater career option. Multidisciplinary approach will also boost startup culture in the country. Next, minor programs have been introduced in graduation and post graduation and equip students with interdisciplinary expertise and emerging domain that prepare them to the meet to dynamic demands of the global job markets well and completing their core academic disciplines. A student of the graduation honor course can be of and that is the science, environmental studies, social, emotional, and learning science, society, Ayurvedic, nutrition, Vedic, mathematics, psychology, literature, ethics, culture, digital environment, sustainable ecotourism, yoga, business, communication, chocolate draft, financial planning, political leadership, Indian language, organic farming, document preparation, Python, language, Indian manuscriptology to public speakers. National education policy has been stressed and importance of the practical skill alongside the theoretical knowledge. This proportional course have been started engagement in a more hands-on training, internship, and real-world one stress. This report remains that a professor course student will with opportunities to explore related subject and outside of the traditional boundaries and potentially hand broadening the knowledge based on the career broadening. There, that is shaping the professional course to be the more relevant and practical and globally competitive opportunities while upholding the highest standard of the ethics complex. Inter Internationalization and collaboration. The NEP emphasizes importance of internationalization and collaboration in education. Mm. Policy promote the collaboration between the Indian and the foreign academic institution, expose the student to the other cultures and better prepare and globally connected future. The policy also intend to make India as a hub for the higher education, attracting foreign student and giving the Indian student that opportunity student of foreign schools. This will and enhance the student professional developments and introduce stress and prospective information and the investment into that educational system. Multiple entry and exit option. NAP 2020 and allows for the multiple entry and exit option, enabling that more flexible learning path and alignment with its international standard. India's academic ecosystem and gearing up to the introduced such as facility in the courses. Learning with the enable learners to make up the course based on the choice and demands of the industry. Mixing academics with its hands job and expertise with the perfectly blends that a career choice as competency of the learner with that a requirement of job markets. Multidisciplinary courses. As envisions and by the NAP to universities and the technical institutions have started offering the wide range of the multidisciplinary courses across the various fields encompassing both the traditional discipline and academy emerging as the efficient agency machines and learning design thinking data science cybersecurity environmental studies legal studies and sustainability. Some of the newly and introduced domain are the follow environmental studies and sustainability courses environmental science environmental management climate change and sustainable development being and integrated with law, data management, ecology policy, and social sciences. Course on the waste management, disaster management is a small building. Social entrepreneurship can provide various career choice to the youth. Arts and humanities, a program in the social sciences, arts and literature, and intertwined with knowledge of technology, environmental, creative writing, media, international relations, soft skill, and law and make or employable. हम तो अपना भैया पढ़ रहे हैं, अब पता नहीं पढ़ रहे हैं कि नहीं पढ़ रहे हैं. Knowledge of technology fits like the AI, machine learning, data science, cybersecurity, and robotics are offered as a specialized multidisciplinary program with its public administration, economics, social science, and all traditional engineering courses. Next, health, medical, psychology, and allied sciences. Courses in the health psychology communities, health can be integrated with the social work, environmental, biotechnology, occupational health, biotechnology, occupationals, health, herbal nutrition, knowledge, Ayush, Ayurveda, yoga and naturopathy, Unani Siddha, and homeopathy and the technology. Economics and business and a multidisciplinary approach can be seen in the subject like the entrepreneurship, e-commerce, and the financial literacy. Often, the combining the economics, business, and administration, public society, ecology, and technology, computer science, and entrepreneurship leadership. It combines knowledge of the computer with a skill important to the creation and leadership of startups, entrepreneurship, holistic development. NEP 2020 the emphasizes the holistic development of the student, including their the psych and physical, emotional, cognitive, and social well-being to aim to develop the well-rounded person what can be handle various situations and problems with the confidence and the competence, with integration of several academic areas and promotion of the critical thinking creativity and problem solving varieties like NAP support a holistic approach to the education and forest foster experimental learning where the students can put the knowledge and ability into the practice real world settings. Digital learning NAP totally emphasizes that digital education in all spheres of life. Working use of technology and education will equip students with the necessary digital skills that prepare them the better the digital assets. And that NLP provides a holistic multidisciplinary approach aims to foster unique the capabilities and identity, the learning trajectory, and calculation of the critical thinking, problem solving, the adaptability, and that lifelong learning. Through the strong foundation, it is a and the foundational skill, the flexible and the diverse curriculum, and innovative pedagogical approach, NAP, and 2020 has a potential and a natural and well-defined that is required will contribute the mindfully and society where there is a challenge to implementation and the multidisciplinary approach the immense potential benefit to the career of some. The co-author Raja Pandit is a consultant in the Ministry of Education and Government of India. देखिए नेक्स्ट पढ़ेंगे ए न्यू era for sports governance and next topic is in further studies inclusion and Dr. Pankaj Kumar education for the visually impaired next day. मिला कोई नहीं करने वाला नारे रील चला होंगे सब अपना काम करो भाई. देखिए इसमें कुरुक्षेत्र है रूरल डेवलपमेंट मंथली सिंस 1982. ये कुरुक्षेत्र का है इंग्लिश का है मैं पढ़ रहा हूँ. इसमें क्या है देखिए आपके सामने एडिटोरियल्स दिया हुआ है. डिस्पाइट इंडियाज इम्प्रेसिव प्रोग्रेस इन इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ. चलो ठीक है. Despite India's impressive progress, economic growth, rural India continues to grapple with a silent crisis. आवाज नहीं सही सर. answer. That is the just as as it is a question health malnutrition. A question is equity development and the future of the nations. According to National Family Health Service, NFHS, 25 and 2090, 21 over 35% should under 5 in India is stunted. Over 32% underweight with rural areas wherein the disproportionately high burden anemia among the adolescent girl is women of the reproductive age remains alarmingly high poverty, food insecurity, lack of the dietary diversity, and poor material health. Inadequate hydration and limited access to the health service major problem. Rural population often are dependent on the staple diet with the little access to proteins, vitamins, and micronutrients essential for the healthy growth. To address it is a chronic challenge as the government of India has launched a nationwide campaign titled Swasth Nari Sasakt Parivar Abhiyan Healthy Women Empowerment Family Campaign and 18 Rashtriya Poshan on the 17th September 25 is health camps providing service such as the antenatal checkup the pregnant women and counseling for the better nutrition anemia screening girls health checkup to the for newborns and access to the life-saving medicines are being the organized. It can be focus area of the national Poshan Mah. Strategy new early childhood care education through the theme and nutritional education together and initiative focusing on local and traditional nutrition, local of local program. Mission Nutrition 2.0 present opportunity to transform rural nutrition landscape, especially when the implemented a society at the grassroots level and integration agriculture nutrition by the promoting kitchen gardens, millet consumption, and local food system can empower rural household to self-reliant nutrition. However, there is many hurdles of many Anganwadi centers, and that is poor infrastructure, inadequate staffing, and inconsistent supply. 22 मिनट हो गया बस हम 15 मिनट और पढ़ेंगे 18 मिनट उस वक्त चैनल बंद कर देंगे. There is also persistent digital and divide that is hamper real-time data tracking remote areas. And moreover, the behavioral changes that is perhaps the hardest challenge that traditional food belief lack awareness, food balance diet, and gender disparities in the food allocation with household culturally sensitive interventions. A proportion to 2.0 not just a program, it is a promise to success or a proportion to dependent on the multi-sectoral collaboration, social participation, political will with Panchayati Raj, and women's self as a group, schools, and local health workers must be brought into the fold. Civil society to the critical role to play, raising the awareness, ensuring the accountability, and bringing the last mile gaps. Next, in view of the Anti-Trustee Posan Maha campaign, Ministry of Women and Child Development (MOWCD) has contributed the articles of the crucial covering the major aspect of the Posan 2.0 campaigns. Beside articles on the health nutrition, being the included will just certainly highlighted the reader of the health to the health workers and stakeholders tackling that is problem of health is nutrition rural India because of health rural India, especially the women, the children is the health of the nations. चैप्टर शुरू करते हैं. चैप्टर कितना बड़ा है? हाँ छोटा ही है, इसको पहले खत्म करते हैं. ज़्यादा बड़ा नहीं है. देखिए राष्ट्रीय पोषण माह है सोशल बिहेवियर कम्युनिकेशन चैंजन SPCC. Poshan Ma is a focal point on the year-round SPCC and service delivery architecture. When Poshan Ma is used strategically, it becomes a potent and an instrument in the larger journey to the Suposhit Bharat. Suposhit Bharat. Poshan Ma exemplifies how the carefully and the sequence SBCC strategy, backed by the frontline system and the local governance, can be convert policy ambition into the household practice. Next, and Subha Tiwari, Dr. Satish Agnihotri is written down. Malnutrition is not just a social health issue, rather it's an economic crisis at its important facts. And reduce the productivity and burdens healthcare system and the and that that is hinders human capital development and global migration estimated cost of economic up to the and the US dollar 3.6 trillion per year, a cost of about US dollar 500 per person, thus for nutrition and addressing malnutrition, and that's becoming the economic necessity, becoming the economic necessity. Recognizing this, India has implemented a range of nutrition focus scheme over the past several years. India's commitment is improving the nutrition has evolved over the decades, beginning with is the Integrated Child Development Service (ICDS). Integrated Child Development Service (TS), and in the 1905, one of the world's largest community and based on program ICDS played a fundamental roles in the delivering and health nutrition and the early education to the children under the six pregnant women and the lacting mothers. Over the year, the several key of intervention were introduced to the student. This foundation, however, despite sustained economic growth and policy. मजा आ रहा है पढ़ने में. And commitment malnutrition and persistent and alarming levels in the past few decades. And address this, the government of India launched the Posan Abhiyan 2018. A question पूछा हुआ था Posan Abhiyan कब आया था? With a sharp focus on the first 1000 days of life from the conception of child's second birthday. Posan Abhiyan introduced the three-pronged approach at community level: behavior change campaign, Jan Andolan, digital monitoring, the service delivery, and the capacity building of the 1.1 million Anganwadi workers using the intermental learning approach (ILA). Subsequently, in the 2021, the government of India has implemented Saksam Anganwadi and the Mission Posan 2.0, which is a combines Posan Abhiyan, Anganwadi service, and the scheme for adolescent girls. These target children with once yearly pregnant women locating lactating mother and adolescent girl. Currently, key the intervention include the supplementary nutrition in the form of the meals SCM to take the home rations STHR and that behavior change the communication through the Posan Abhiyan. Currently, the function across the 28 state and 8 to ETs. 28 distributors, and that is developing of 10 crore beneficiaries, providing them an S&P growth, measuring education and nutrition awareness. And that is a Do Unite Integrated Child Development Service ideas launched in 1975 and known as the Mission Saksham Anganwadi Posan Juban is the world largest program for children aged 0 to 6 years. कितना हो गया 48 12 मिनट और Posan Ma first introduced a part of the Jan Andolan under the Posan Abhiyan strategies. This periodic intensification of demand general communicate event, home-based counseling, making the behavior changes. Communication BCC is a continuous and visual national priority. Posan Ma as a SBCC engine of the Posan Abhiyan. The essence of the Posan Ma is a social and behavior change communication SBCC translated into action. The national SBCC strategy, the deliberately user mix of mass made of the interpersonal media and community based on the event, which different audience and influence like the mother, father, mother-in-law, the teachers, local elected leaders, and the religious communicate figure. The material range from the TV and radio sports, mobile videos, and the flipbook for the media's Nukka Natak, and that the digital content of social platform portions. Maha operation this is ready by the coordinating. Mass media as a campaign for the broad exposures. Made media tools the play school activities, local radio for community penetration. Okay? And the intensified interpersonal counseling, home visit, guided person tracker, the household requiring the toilet supports. Next. एक ही हो गया इतना बच्चा हुआ है. And Rashtriya Posan Maha launch in the 28 as part of the Posan Abhiyan has over the years grown into one of the India's largest people-led government a movement by the nutrition conceived as an Andolan set out to mobile communities across that countries and tackle malnutrition through the awareness, behavioral changes, and local action. The first Posan Mah in 2018, the witness and the modest beginning, the early effort largely focused on spreading awareness in the school and communities and the Anganwadi centers, and they led to the foundation for what would soon become the nationwide movement engaging citizens of at least scale. Next 2019, that is campaign gathered the momentum with the theme पोषण त्योहार से व्यवहार तक, highlighting in the importance of the translating festive celebration into the healthy nutrition practice daily life. The precise is one of the critical area, the first 1,000 day of the child life anemia and prevention, that is diarrhea and diarrhea management, sanitation, hygiene, and dietary diversity as a community sponsor enthusiastically receive the demonstration food festival anemia testing camps and sanitation and drive become the keys the feature of this edition and idea post and Posanma as a collective social movement from root to root. Posanma. The year 2000 brought the challenge of the COVID-19 pandemic, but rather than the healthy progress, it is the Posan Maha an opportunity to innovate that campaign well the digital e-samvad online the component competitions, social media outreach and webinars, where the ground frontline workers that focus on the growth monitoring, identification of several and malnutrition and the children, and that is promotion of ocean and what verticals and multi gardens despite that distribution of the pandemic. And countries responded to the participated in society reflecting the resilience and adaptability of the campaign. In 2021, the campaign adopted a more structured approach of weekly thematic activities that coinciding with the celebration of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. These themes on the ranked and the plantation drive and the yoga-based nutrition awareness, distribution of the nutrition management of the malnutrized children. This approach brought as a self focus on Maha has truly become the panchayat led with the overall that focus of Mahila and Swasth Bacha or Siksha. That is Posan Panchayat will the Anganwadi centers become the hubs of the growth monitoring drives, anemia screening, more that adolescents, girls, and decide exhibition under the and initiatives. Next, Antim last Amma Ki Rasoi, the integration of traditional recipe, tribe food, and local practice gave the campaign as a distinctive grassroots characters. हम तो भाई इतना पढ़ चुके हैं, बस थोड़ा बचा है। देखिए इसमें क्या है, गुड़, जैगरी, स्पेनिश रेजिस, अरागी, अमरनाथ लिप्स एंड बंगाल ग्राम होल। Posan Ma 2030, the further dependent the life cycle approach and nutrition, the focus extended beyond the awareness to the integrated service delivery, the covering diet and diversity, anemia as a prevention, the counseling for the mother and encouraging to the health education system, scale up and mobilization, unprecedented market is one largest edition of the Posan Ma cities inception and communities across the country engage growth. Central people, the participants seventh Rashtriya Posan Institute focus on the critical theme of the anemia, prevention, growth, as a monitoring and community feeding and पोषण भाई भी पढ़ाई भी मतलब पोषण भी पढ़ाई भी the use of the technology for service delivery and the top campaign enabling that opportunity of delivery diversity and the early childhood nutrition technology enable awareness. कितना मिनट बचा है, 6 मिनट, 6 मिनट खत्म हो गया। Serving as a sustained mass movement of people across the 7 years Rashtriya Poshan Ma successfully resulted in not limited and itself from the awareness driving further developing into the robust people campaign involving crores of activities. And only this is a successful trying with the visions. Super Suposit Bharat interdisciplinary mission rooted in the collective energy of the communities across the India. Carrying forward this vision of the Suposit Bharat, the Ministry of Women Child Development is set to launch to 8th edition of the Posan Abhiyan. That Posan Maha will be observed at that 17th September to 60th October, and it is the 25 is overarching theme the Swasth Nari Sakshat Sasakt Parivar. So Sasakt Parivar, the key theme of the Posan Maha is addressing and reducing consumption of sugar, salt, and while it is a child education, ECC, Posan, and with Padhai, and infant English that is a YCF practices and mainstream that cannot accent or utilization. Rosanma is a focal point year round. As species is private level extraction, but the Posanma used the sisterly become the potential insufficient larger that is supposed Bharat. Posanma is at that scale that is especially attracted to front line system that is governance against convert the policy ambition. Because to practice it is long term and the presentation full of the malnutrition known by the Posanmas. Ma much that is be the calendar moment when the nation not with the reform the commitment but also the measures trends and the strengthening the necessity of change. देखिए अभी तक हम बस अपना रीडिंग किए हैं, आप भी डेली अपना रीडिंग करेंगे, जो क्वेश्चन आपको पूछना रहेगा और पूछ सकते हैं। तो चलिए क्या करते हैं, हम देखिए हम 56 मिनट का वीडियो बना चुके हैं, बस अपना क्यों पढ़े, इसमें ना कोई क्वेश्चन पूछा गया ना कुछ किया है, सब आए हैं सब गायब हो गए हैं, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, अपना काम करते रहेंगे, मिलेंगे कल। थैंक यू वेरी मच।